Right, can I just have everybody's attention, please? First of all, what I'd like to do is just thank you guys for coming through. We appreciate it. And what we really wanted to do today was just have, instead of a formal presentation, we wanted to have a relaxed time introducing the hotel, introducing what is on showcase here, and just to have a wonderful day. Weather's on our side, have a nice lunch, and let's treat this as a discussion, questions and answers. When I spoke to Dr. Raj Lalu, one of our guest speakers, on basically how we're going to approach this, we thought let's not make it lecture-based, because let's just work and questions and answers. But before I carry on, I'd like to first of all say a word of thanks to Carl Erasmus and Ilse and Francisco, the chef, and all the staff, to say thank you very much for making us feel welcome. You know, life is a learning curve, and our purpose today here is to just learn from each other. We learn every single day. There's no perfect science, as we know, in life, and of course when it comes to koi fish. So we're about sharing ideas and learning. The greatest thing that I learned from Carl recently is where he shared the idea of the RASMUS. You can see the logo there. And the RASMUS is in honor of his late father. And one of his prized collections of his bonsais, one of them was given by his late mother, and the restaurant will be called by his mother's name. And I think it's a lesson to learn, to set the stage for all of us, that, you know, we all hear about enjoying life and the responsibility that we each have towards each other in a caring and a respectful manner. And Carl has certainly instilled that in me with the story of the RASMUS. So leaving something like this behind in memory of his parents is, I feel, something quite significant for everybody to enjoy going forward. My late mother's birthday was yesterday, and I only had one photograph of her. And I was so emotional yesterday morning when one of the family members on the group chat said, "Happy birthday, Isabel." So I could just imagine what a beautiful pleasure it is for Carl to have this to showcase to everybody. So without further ado, I'd like to just let Carl say a few words.
Hi, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the RASMUS. It's a great honor to have you all here today. I'm just not going to be too long. So I just want to give you a bit of background of the RASMUS, and also a bit of background of myself, and then where the whole koi came in. If any of you are from Pretoria will probably recognize those towers. Now that tower is reminiscent of the house called the Erasmus Castle, which is more well known as the Spookhuis. But I prefer the name the Erasmus Castle for obvious reasons. Now, just very shortly, I grew up there in the Erasmus Castle or Spookhuis. The house was in our family, the Erasmus family, for over 100 years. The house was expropriated by the Transvaal Provincial Administration in 1976. In 1976, I was 10 years old. And at that stage, the expropriation means that the government takes the land, they pay you an amount of money, and they say thank you. And that's what happened. It's not a it's not a forced eviction, but you don't have a choice. You must sell it to them. But then what happened was, the expropriation was for a new academic hospital, which was never built. And then later on, Armscor took over, and they built the High School Waterkloof there, and 40 years to this day, 40 years ago, it was the 40 years that the house has been expropriated. It was restored by Armscor at the time, and it's going downwards again. My family's buried there, my father's buried there. My hope and my dream is we are in negotiations with Armscor that I might eventually have use of the house in some form or the other. If that can happen, I will thank the Lord, and I think my life goal would have been achieved. So, after the house was expropriated in 1978-79, my dad built this house. Now, this house didn't look anything like this. It was a 80s style house, red bricks, red roof, and this is the last remaining extent of the famous farm Waterkloof. It's the only little piece of the original Waterkloof farm which is left. 20 hectares of pristine farmland, which is still a working farm today. After 2010, my father passed on, and I decided the house was too large for, at that stage my son has grown up, and then I decided to change the house into a guest house with a restaurant component. Now the house is called the RASMUS, as Kevin said to you, and the restaurant which will be called Ramona's. My mom's name was Ramona. The restaurant then will be supporting the guest house. So the whole idea was just to take the house and a bit of a nod to the old Erasmus Castle and the Erasmus family and the heritage that we have in Pretoria. I've worked for the last 3 years non-stop trying to create what is here today. Hopefully I've succeeded in a small way, and I hope you all enjoy it. What I want to just give you some background on the koi. I've always had a love from the bonsai which my mom gave me. I loved fish. I started with goldfish, and I've always loved Japan, and Japanese culture was always for me great. And then my good friend Mark Kulain, which I think you all know, who introduced the program system. Now Mark has been an old friend of mine. We've been friends for 20 odd years. He introduced me to koi. I first started up here with a very small pond, and when I upgraded the guest house, I decided, let's combine the two. Let's take really a house and make it really spectacular, and let's build a Murva dam. So that's what I decided to do. I built a 200,000 litre dam. So it's a combination of my passion for the koi, and I also through the koi I've met wonderful people. Mike, Tanya, I've met you people, we've become friends, we've gone to Japan together, and Kevin, you have become a dear friend. So the whole koi industry, the friendships, that all has been formed among these beautiful creatures. As they say, one day they will become dragons. So these are my dragons. I refer to them as my dragons. Anyway, that's enough from me. I hope you guys will have a great day. Please tell me if anything isn't perfect. Please let me know. My staff and everyone are here on point to assist you people. And that's it from me. And thank you for supporting the RASMUS. Thank you.
Dr. Raj Lalu, a scientist from CSIR, is our first guest speaker. He's going to be talking on the chemistry of water, and he's also going to be talking about bacteriology as well as parasites. And the format of this will be more discussion based, so that there's questions and answers, because in most cases on lecture, if it's lecture based, there are people that are wanting to have questions answered whilst the lecture's happening. So we decided to turn it around and keep it as informal as possible and have questions and answers as we go through this discussion.
Hi there, I'm Francesco, this is Lizzie. Kamo and Tabang, we're the kitchen crew of the RASMUS Boutique Hotel in Pretoria. We are hosting the lunch for the koi enthusiasts of Gauteng, and we look forward to seeing all of you coming here.
Our next guest speaker is Alex Baccaro from Advanced Laboratory Solutions, and he's an expert with regards to microscopy, and it was most apt as he explained about bacteriology as well as parasitic infections in koi ponds. The most exciting part about Alex's presentation was based on having a look at the microscopes. He had 3 microscopes, entry level, middle of the range, and then top of the range microscope, and each of us had an opportunity to have a look.
Michael from WCB. I'd just like to thank everyone for putting on this nice occasion for the koi. Thank Kevin Till for all the organisation. We're very proud to be here and help as much as we can for the koi industry. And great thanks to Collie RASMUS in this lovely venue. Great koi pond, and yeah, fantastic day. We really enjoyed it, and I think we need more of this for the future of koi.
Baie dankie vir vandag, Kevin. Dit was baie lekker geweest. Dit was 'n goeie onderneming om almal van ons bymekaar te kry. Ek is Barry Botha van BH Sons Projects. Kan gekontak word om koi damme en goed te bou. Ek werk baie in samewerking met Kevin. Ons bou kontak koi damme. Ons werk met koi damme. Kevin werk met die visse. En dan ook baie dankie vir die RASMUS om vir ons die geleentheid te gee om almal hier bymekaar te kom. Dit was baie heerlik geweest. Dankie.
Good afternoon. I'm here at the RASMUS house, which has the most fantastic koi pond, most fantastic hospitality, and we've just had a koi meeting which has been one of the most informative I have had for years. Just want to say thank you to everybody involved in the organising of this. It has been wonderful. Thank you.
We are at the RASMUS, and we had a beautiful morning, very, very constructive. Learned a lot about koi. The people are out of this world. You know, I don't think I've got words for that, but I'll leave it to all the audience to imagine how beautiful this place is. Looking at the koi, I've seen things that I've never seen in my life. I've been blind up to now. I'm buying a smaller property now, and the very first thing that I'm going to do on that property, which we are revamping, is nothing more and nothing less than about a 40 or 50,000 litres pond to put some of the kois. These things are beautiful. And if you don't know it, go to see a koi show, and I'll bet you'll be spending some money on kois. That's all I have to say. You have to take it for yourself and see what beautiful animals there are. Thank you so much. Thank you.
My naam is Danny Williams, ek is van Hydroseal, en ek wil net vir die mense baie dankie sê vir die uitnodiging vir hierdie fantastiese geleentheid wat julle vir ons aangebied het. Ek het dit baie interessant gevind, en soos jy kan sien, ek is al klaar 'n bietjie oud, maar ek het baie geleer vandag. Baie dankie.
My name is Larry Hubbard. I'm here representing the South African Koi Keeper Society. I'm the current treasurer for them. I'd like to say firstly to Kevin for organising this. I think it was a lovely day, very informative. We should actually have more of these to get the public to see what koi keeping is all about and what can be done if it's done properly. Lovely venue. Carl, thank you very much. Food was excellent, hospitality excellent. Nothing more to say. It was great. Thank you.
Like I said, I'm in bush mechanic equivalent of a koi keeper, so this is my first event. I enjoyed it. I learned quite a lot. In the 5 years that I've kept koi, I've never attended an event, but I think I learned more today than I ever will in the future because I was just like a sponge, assimilating in as much as possible. The food was also great, and the company was just as good. Thank you.
On behalf of the whole RASMUS team, I just want to say it's been an incredible privilege to have koi enthusiasts here today in a magnificent celebration just of how gorgeous the koi are, and we loved having you.
Okay, so that's the end of another day at the RASMUS and with koi enthusiasts, and really we've had a lot of fun. The most important thing that we wanted to do is, again, edutainment. We wanted to educate, and on the educational side we wanted to make sure that everybody, no matter how knowledgeable they were in koi, that went back and said, I learned something and I enjoyed it. That's part of the entertainment side. The food was excellent at the RASMUS. You cannot be disappointed. You cannot be disappointed at looking at the filtration system and the fish and of course the ambiance that is around here. So we hope to have these kind of sessions more and more so that you also enjoy, those that couldn't make it. And that's the reason for us filming this, is that you can enjoy it as well as we have enjoyed it. Thank you so much.